Hello and welcome back to our channel. A man is struck by a mysterious alien explosion and gains unnatural powers. Little does he know that the same exact thing happened to the greatest villain the world has ever seen. Today we are going to present an 11-episode anime series titled Inuyashiki. Be warned, spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The series opens with an old man, Hiro, stepping out of his car in order to pick up his wife and kids. As it seems, the old man has been working on buying a new house, and his daughter feels pretty good that she is eventually going to have her own room. Hiro takes his family to their new neighborhood, where the kids feel ecstatic to see a large, beautiful house. However, the garage door opens and an expensive car comes right out of it. The driver, a man named Oda, stops his car to say hi because he recognizes Ichiro as the guy who moved to the house right behind his. Obviously, Ichiro's kids had some high expectations, but high expectations rarely manifest in life. When the kids see their real house, they believe it is tiny and they can't figure out why Ichiro bought a house in such a secluded location. A transportation truck brings their belongings in, and they now have more work to do unpacking the boxes. However, Ichiro's wife and kids go out to grab some food and he is left to do the unpacking alone. While he tries to put their stuff in order, he experiences some back pain and reaches for the lower section of his core. By accident, he touches a paper he has been holding in his back pocket and pulls it out. As it appears, this paper is a prescription which states Ichiro needs to carry out a follow-up examination. The next day, Ichiro goes about his everyday routine, taking the train to go to work and then leaving work the same way. While he rides on the train, he hears a bunch of teenagers mocking some of their schoolmates' pictures on social media. He is mad with that behavior and pushes a teen's hand, which leads to them having a direct confrontation. The teenager grabs the old man by his tie and his friends wonder if he is going to punch Ichiro. On the other hand, Ichiro squeezes his hand into a fist, even though he is not going to use that. Everything that just happened with him and that teenager was just playing out in his fantasy. It is what he would like to do. As he walks back home after leaving the train, he stumbles upon an abandoned puppy sleeping in a box. The puppy jumps up when it realizes Ichiro is standing there, and the old man seems to be liking her back. He takes the dog back home and tells his family he wants to keep it. His daughter objects because the dog will make the house smell bad, but Ichiro says he will keep the dog in his own room only. The next day, Ichiro visits the hospital to have his examination done, neglecting that he is going to receive the worst news ever. The doctor analyzes his exams and announces that Ichiro is dealing with stomach cancer. As it seems, there is no hope for him, and the doctor only gives him 3 months to live. Ichiro tries to call his kids, but they are occupied with other activities. His daughter Mary rejects his call because she is being popular among the girls for living next to Oda, while his son rejects his call because he is feeling sad after being bullied and having his money stolen from him. Being in a depressive state, Ichiro returns home and wants to have a talk with his family. However, his daughter is hanging out with a friend of hers and tells her Ichiro is her grandpa, while his wife starts scolding him about the dog pooping around the house. Feeling helpless and completely alone, Ichiro does not utter a single word and just takes the dog out for a walk. Considering that nobody would feel his pain even if he told them about his illness, Ichiro starts running and ends up crying in an empty field while hugging his dog. When he looks up, he realizes he is not alone and a teenager is just standing at that same exact spot and absorbing the scenery. Out of a sudden, something weird happens and the sky twists around like it's being manipulated by a time warp. An alien spaceship appears and causes an explosion which seemingly kills both Ichiro and the teenager. Without being seen, the aliens speak with each other and they comment that they just destroyed 2 intelligent beings of this planet. Since they are in a hurry, they decide to restore the beings they destroyed, meaning Ichiro and the teenager, and leave the planet. They do so, and Ichiro's body seems to be synthesized and merged with steel, resembling a cyborg. Ichiro wakes up the next morning and wonders how he fell asleep last night. He comments that he is actually feeling pretty well and returns home to have breakfast with his family. He discovers he has a huge thirst which he is not able to satisfy. While going about his day, he also realizes that his back is not hurting anymore. On top of that, he soon understands that the lenses of his glasses have been taken out and he is actually seeing without them. Right next, he pays a visit to his doctor, who wonders what kind of miracle happened for Ichiro. His illness is gone. Upon returning home, something really strange happens to him as his body starts emitting steam. He panics even more when the dog licks his hand, causing it to transform into a weapon. Ichiro starts examining his body and is stressed out when he realizes that he actually is something like a robot. He remembers the teenager from the night before and thinks to himself that he has to find him if he wants to learn what has happened to him. While walking down the park, Ichiro's ears start picking up noises from everywhere. He must have acquired super hearing as well. Nearby, a bunch of youngsters are picking on a homeless man and lighting fireworks aiming at him. The man is literally on fire and tries to save a picture of his beloved wife. Ichiro decides to do something about it and proceeds to confront the youngsters. They also shoot fireworks at him now, and it becomes apparent that his cyborg body does not like heat. Then the youngsters start hitting him with their bats and drop him on the ground when they land a headshot. Then the youngsters are about to attack the homeless man as well, but a robotic eye opens up on Ichiro's head and assesses the situation, dividing the individuals in victims and perpetrators. His back opens up as well and starts shooting laser beams in order to stop the attack. As the youngsters run away terrified, Ichiro's body automatically runs a facial recognition on them and identifies them one by one. Their identities and their malicious acts are uploaded all over the internet and television, making sure that these thugs will be punished. When he wakes up, Ichiro wants nothing else but to drink as much water as he can. After the homeless man thanks him, Ichiro experiences a sensation he has never felt before. He just saved another human being's life. In the meantime, the boy that got struck and restored by the aliens, Hiro, attends school and wonders where his friend Ando is. He goes on to visit his friend in his house, and the two of them start discussing about the mangas they like. Hiro says there's a real slasher going around and killing people. He has killed 8 of them till today. Since Ando has been skipping school, he must be the slasher. Ando can't believe what he is hearing, but Hiro quickly tells him he is just joking. But then he gets up and opens his head like mushroom, revealing to Ando that he is not the same person anymore. Ando has many questions for him, and Hiro takes him out to show him something. He aims at a pack of crows and pretends to be shooting them. The crows get scared and fly away, but then Hiro aims at one of them by using his finger and pretends to be shooting it by speaking the word bang. The crow drops down dead. He does not use bullets at all, but he can cut through anything like it was a bullet. Nonetheless, that is not all Hiro can do. His abilities are endless. He even takes Ando to an electronics store and shows him how he can manipulate the signal of the televisions. He touches his hand on the screen and replaces the video that is being displayed with some adult content. Ando finds that amusing, but Hiro's next trick will not be as harmless as this one. Hiro takes his friend to a conjunction and exclaims this is the perfect spot. He starts using his hands like a maestro in order to take control of some vehicles and crashes them on each other, causing major accidents on the roads. The result of that is pure mayhem. The problem is many things could have gone wrong with what Hiro did, and Ando is not sure if he should be impressed or terrified. Upon returning in Ando's house, Hiro lets him examine his robotic body. After they are done, Hiro prompts Ando to return back to school because being bullied is nothing compared to what happened to him. Ando wonders if Hiro is really himself and directly asks him if he would ever harm him. Hiro finds that kind of insulting. The two of them are friends, and he would never hurt him because in his mind he is still the same person he was before his body changed. Ando believes that is very cool and suggests that Hiro could actually become a real-life superhero. Although the idea sounds intriguing at first, Hiro dismisses it because becoming a superhero sounds like a real pain. But enough about him, he is more interested in knowing who beat Ando up in school so he can kill them. Ando wonders if that is a joke or not, but Hiro ensures he is dead serious. After leaving Ando's house, Hiro has a happy phone call with his mother, but the fun continues in a peculiar way for him. He starts walking around a random neighborhood and spins around himself with his eyes closed. When he stops spinning and opens his eyes, he just walks in the house that happens to be in front of him and confronts a woman that is making tea in her kitchen. The woman asks who he is, but Hiro just raises his hand and shoots her dead. Right next, Hiro walks in the bathroom, where he finds the father of the family having a bath in the bathtub with his young son. Hiro likes to play mind games, and the man soon realizes that this guy is dangerous. He turns his back towards Hiro in order to protect his son while also asking him to spare the kid. Hiro makes it clear that he will kill the kid as well, a statement that makes the man go crazy. Hiro shoots the man in his head, causing his dead body to fall onto the child. The young boy is trapped under the water and soon dies. At that time, the daughter of the family returns home and finds her mother lying dead on the floor. Hiro joins her in the hallway and makes her sit on the staircase so they can discuss about manga. While they have some common interests, the girl panics when she realizes that Hiro is a stone-cold killer who cares for nothing. Hiro cuts her palm open and the girl screams in pain. In the meantime, Ichiro returns home and hears her screams. He takes his car to drive to the girl's house by following the sound, but he stumbles upon heavy traffic and is late. Unfortunately, he hears Hiro shooting the girl. Despite that fact, Ichiro goes to the family's house in order to check what has happened and sees all the dead bodies around the house. Hiro is still in the house and believes that Ichiro is the family's grandpa. He shoots him and drops him on the floor moments before walking away like nothing has happened. However, Ichiro gets up and walks behind him, surprising Hiro, who can't figure out how the man is still alive. Ichiro tries to walk near Hiro, but the latter puts his mechanic body to use and flies away. Seeing him, Ichiro realizes that this boy is the same as he. The next morning, Hiro visits Ando again and tells him he needs to return to school because things are boring without him. Ando accidentally cuts his finger as they talk, but Hiro grabs it with his hand and cures it immediately. That is an indication of the tremendous power he and Ichiro possess, which can be either used for good or for evil. Later that night, Ichiro finds himself being present in yet another incident. A bunch of thugs cut in front of a line at the taxi stand, and a citizen is mindless enough to politely ask them to wait their turn. The thugs take him with them and threaten to kill him. Ichiro has followed them and appears behind the thugs. Once they see this old man, they burst into laughs and believe he's going to be an easy match for them. One of them starts hitting him and feels pretty good about it, but Ichiro lands one single blow and sends the man spinning in the air. One by one, the other thugs start attacking Ichiro and they land some hits on him. Ichiro is not experienced in hand-to-hand combat, so his attacks are mostly random. However, having the strength of his cyborg body, one hit is enough to destroy his opponents. Eventually, he saves the man and receives much gratefulness from him. The night is not yet over for Ichiro though. While walking, he activates his hyper-hearing abilities and realizes there are some people having trouble while dealing with fire. He uses his cyborg capabilities to spot those people on the map, but realizes they are very far and he is not going to make it in time. But then he remembers that Hiro could use his body to fly. If he could do it, Ichiro must be able to do it as well. He tries to force his body to open up and use the turbines to fly, but he is not able to do it initially. Then he comes up with another idea. He starts singing a song in order to hype himself, and his back opens up. Ichiro even manages to fly, but he is having some trouble controlling his course since this is the first time he is doing it. After falling on a playground, Ichiro recovers quickly and flies off again. This time, he has better control over his body and really enjoys his time flying. Despite, he needs to work on his landing a little bit because he lands on his back. Good thing his body is strong enough to not take any damage. Upon arriving near the burning apartment, he walks right inside and saves two people. They thank him for saving them, but Ichiro has started getting used to being a hero by now. The next morning, Hiro visits Ando again and this time convinces him to return to school by saying he is going to be by his side and protect him from those bullies. Once they return to school, those bullies start picking on Ando, and they tell him they will take him to the roof after school to play with him. Hiro jumps in the conversation and the bullies say they will take him as well. Hiro grabs the forearm of one of them and makes him feel an amount of pain he has never felt before. After making him say some humiliating stuff about himself and his group, the bullies run away. After the school day is over, Hiro takes Ando to the roof, but the bullies are not there. Hiro can see them walking down the street and gives Ando a pair of binoculars so he can see them as well. While Ando searches for them with the binoculars, Hiro starts shooting them. By the time Ando spots them, the bullies are already dead on the ground. Hiro notices Ando being a bit disturbed, so he explains that nobody can touch them. Hiro is stronger than an army, plus he can control everything around the internet, radio, TV, and the rest. To demonstrate his abilities once more, they visit an ATM and Hiro withdraws a crazy amount of cash. Soon, Ando becomes fed up with Hiro's behavior and tells him they can't be friends anymore. He can't just be a friend to someone who kills people and commit crimes like it is nothing. Hiro takes that quite lightly and reminds Ando that he is able to protect him against whatever they might face. Ando tries to explain it is all about being a moral human being. Killing people is not okay with him. On the other hand, Hiro claims he has always been like that and Ando knew it. Now that he can act on his instincts due to his cyborg body, he is just doing what he has always wanted to do. Eventually, Hiro has to accept that Ando does not want to roll with him anymore and walks away. Meanwhile, Ichiro keeps discovering various aspects of his abilities and uses them for good. While walking down the street, a cat is hit by a car and is left almost dead. Ichiro takes the cat into his hands and realizes that he can scan the animal's internal organs and analyze what damage its body has taken. Then he lets the cat rest on the ground and uses his abilities to cure it. That gives him a sense of fulfillment and he thanks God he's in a position to help the world. Full of inspiration, Ichiro visits a hospital with the intent of curing all the patients. On the other hand, Hiro does the exact opposite. Angry as he is on a rampage and just kills everyone that annoys him. In another part of the city, a young woman, Fumino, and her boyfriend, Satoru, are making plans of getting married. However, their plans are ruined one day when Fumino gets abducted by some mafia members. She is taken to the mafia don, who is about to use her for his own pleasure, but thankfully, Fumino sums up the courage and the strength to escape. She runs in the living room where she finds a katana sword and starts attacking the don with it. She is able to cut his wrist with it, a move that buys her some time to escape. Fumino returns back to her fiancé and informs him about everything that happened. They argue if they should call the police, but they receive a message which threatens Fumino to not notify the police or else her family will be murdered. Soon their apartment door is broken and the mafia bursts in on them. The mafia don likes Fumino and he wants to take her and keep her to himself. Satoru jumps in front of the man and says he will pay him 10 million yen to leave them alone. The don can't see how this pathetic little man can have that much money. Satoru says he does not have it, but he can borrow it from a loan shark tomorrow when the bank's open. The don does not want to deal with Satoru, so he just grabs him by his throat and lifts him up in the air. But then one of the mafia minions goes flying in the air and Ichiro makes his appearance. It was about time. After getting rid of the minions, Ichiro grabs the mafia don by his waist and squeezes him hard. The don realizes he can't get rid of the old man, so he pulls his pistol out and shoots him multiple times on his head. Ichiro passes out from the shots and wakes up some time later. He is angry to realize that Satoru is dead. He tries his best to revive the man and Satoru's eyes seem to be opening. The man eventually sits up and is alive. The first thing he does is ask about Fumino, who has been abducted once more. Ichiro grabs the cell phone and calls the mafia don, telling him that he is coming his way to take the girl back and make sure he won't cause any more harm. Ichiro keeps his word and finds the mafia don attending a meeting. The don empties yet another clipper on Ichiro, but the latter is just scratched from the bullets. After beating the Don up a bit, more mafia members appear and they start shooting at Ichiro with uses. Eventually, Ichiro grows tired of them and his cyborg body activates its enormous power. Dozens of laser beams come out of him and attack the bad guys. However, the attack is not lethal, but rather leaves the bad guys with no eyes, unable to eat and unable to walk on their own from now on. Justice has been served as Ichiro lets them live the rest of their injured lives, dwelling on the crimes they have committed. Then, Ichiro finds Fumino, cures her and takes her back to her soon-to-be husband. Ando watches the incident on the news and wonders if his former friend Hiro was the one to punish those crime syndicate members. He suspects that because the police has reported the wounds inflicted on the syndicate criminals were not caused by bullets. In addition, he does some research and sees that patients with serious illnesses have been cured as if an angel came down from the heavens to help them. Ando remembers that Hiro had cured his finger, but doubts that he would also have a change of heart and start helping people instead of killing them. He comes to the conclusion that there must be more people like Hiro and remembers his former friend telling him that he can pick up all noises, no matter how small. That gives him some ideas and he decides to try them. Ando starts screaming for help, hoping that this other person who is like Hiro will hear him and come to his aid. It seems like his expectations are met because Ichiro bangs on his door asking if he needs any help. The two of them sit down and have a talk and Ichiro feels kind of freaked out with the young man knowing so much about him. Ando explains that he knows everything about his cyborg body because his childhood friend is the same as him. The difference between them is that Ichiro runs around helping people while Hiro is only interested in creating chaos and having fun by killing people. He has transformed into a killing machine. Ichiro is afraid of that possibility, but Ando makes him feel better by telling him something beautiful. He expresses that Ichiro is more human than any human since all he does is affect their lives in a positive way. In any case, the two of them agree that Hiro has to be stopped and Ando offers to help Ichiro in any way he can. Meanwhile, Hiro has become quite popular at school. In fact, so much that a girl named Shine approaches him and openly states that she likes him. Hiro's response to that is quite neutral. He just thanks her and walks away. At night, Hiro has a talk with his mother, who reveals she was in the hospital and the doctors found she is suffering pancreatic cancer. They only give her 1 month to live. Hiro bursts into cries, hugs his mother, and tells her he is not going to let her die. He assesses the damage done in her body and quietly cures her. At the same time, Ando is trying to assess Ichiro's abilities. He wants the old man to shoot his laser beams, but Ichiro does not know how to do that. But when he concentrates, his arm transforms into a gun and he starts shooting. The next day, Hiro's mother announces that her illness has disappeared like magic. Hiro wants to offer his mother a better life and steals 3 million yen. Then he takes her to see a big house with an awesome view, saying that they are going to move in there. Soon they are set up in their new house. One morning, the two of them watch the news together, and they hear the reports on the deaths of dozens of people, the people Hiro has killed. When Hiro's mother hears about it, she wishes the police catches this murderer, and they send him straight to hell. Hiro asks her a hypothetical question. What if he was the murderer? His mother does not understand the question, but she replies anyway, saying that she would hope to die along with him. Hiro thinks to himself that he is done with the murders, but is too late for that. The police comes to his house and they have a warrant for his arrest. There is evidence that connects him to the murders of at least 14 people. Hiro tries to run away, but the policemen ambush him since there are more of them waiting outside. They jump on him but have a hard time containing him. Hiro is careful not to reveal he is a cyborg, but still uses his power to run away and fly without being seen. The police gives Hiro's picture to the public and now he knows everybody is going to be looking for him. But Hiro's luck has not run out yet. Cheyenne, the girl who has a crush on him, sees him on the road and takes him to her house. Cheyenne lives with her grandmother because both of her parents have died from cancer. She believes that Hiro is innocent and hopes that the police will find the real killer soon. Later, Hiro eats dinner with Cheyenne and her grandma. The old lady asks if they should turn the TV on, which is weird according to Cheyenne because she never watches TV. However, her grandma explains that she just asked because Hiro might want to watch. Meanwhile, Ando wants to show Ichiro a cool trick that Hiro did. He shows Ichiro that there are 2 USB sockets under his nail and then connects him to the computer. Next, he shows Ichiro how he can move his cell phone data in his brain so they can speak hands-free if Ando calls him while he is flying. The trick works just fine and Ando prompts Ichiro to fly as high as he can in order to try the connection. While going up, Ichiro ends up in space and is seen by an astronaut. Back in Shannon's house, Hiro is trying to lay low, but he can't help but follow the news. All the reporters from various channels have approached his mother, and she publicly apologizes for her son. Hiro also follows the comments around the web. Some people talk trash about Hiro, while others talk trash about his mother, blaming her for raising a killer. The situation gets out of hand for Hiro's mother, who can't endure the pressure and commits the unthinkable. The comments on the internet go wild, and some people believe she did well to end herself because she did not deserve to live. That infuriates Hiro, who now corners a bunch of reporters that are getting a statement from his father. Hiro just hates them and starts killing everybody until the only person left standing is his father. His father begs him to not kill him and Hiro just flies away. When he lands, Hiro accesses the online forum where the discussion about him and his parents has been raging and writes that he will kill everybody one by one. He wants to start with a guy who says he was the one to send Hiro's house picture to the press. Hiro hacks into his computer screen and kills the man through it after playing with him for a while. Then he uploads the video of the killing on that forum, reminding them that the rest of the members are next. These internet trolls are having a hard time believing that Hiro can actually find them and kill them, so they taunt him to do just that. However, they have no idea how easily Hiro can hack into their screens and shoot them just by having visual contact with them. Gradually, all the forum members are killed and Hiro returns back to Shan's house. No matter what Shion hears about him, she refuses to believe that Hiro is a murderer. She enters his room at night and wonders why he has to go through all of this. Hiro speaks honestly and tells her that he is indeed the killer. He has killed dozens of people. Shion refuses to believe that, but right then, Hiro begins narrating how things happened in order to convince her that he is not the person she expects him to be. That night, when the incident with the explosion happened, he started feeling like he is a machine. Then one day, he saw a man ending himself by jumping in front of a train. Different people had different reactions, but to him it felt like something meaningful. He started liking death. Then he felt a thirst of recreating that feeling. He started killing people without any discrimination because that was what made him feel alive. Eventually, he opens his torso up and shows Shion that he is a cyborg. The girl closes her eyes, refusing to treat Hiro like he is not human. Hiro can't understand why she is behaving like that and takes her outside for a flight. Hiro tells her that from now on, all people are his enemies and he will continue killing them. Even though he loosens his grip on Shion and she begins crying, she still refuses to let him go and pleads him to not let her and her grandma behind. Hiro accepts her offer and says he will stay with him, but Shion now tells him that he needs to find a way to make up for everything he has done. He has killed so many people and has taken them away from their loved ones, people with dreams and lives to live. When their flight comes to an end, Hiro says he will stop killing people and will start saving those who are in the brink of death. Staying true to their deal, Hiro and Shion start a social media campaign, saying that they are looking for people with terminal illnesses to cure. Although that sounds like a scam to many, there are people who have tried everything and have lost all hope anyway. Hiro gets started with a woman who has not much time left to live and cures her. The only thing he asks from her is to make a tweet about it, after she goes to the hospital and sees she's okay. Indeed, the woman is fine and Hiro's good deeds spread. He and Shion move around several places to cure more and more people. Hiro seems to be a changed person, and it seems the time he spent with Shion helped him a lot. There have been 2 whole months without any murders and people try to speculate what has happened with Hiro. Some believe that he has ended himself, some think he has left the city, while others seem to believe that he is hiding in plain sight. Hiro likes the time he is spending with Shion and her grandma, and he goes to sleep happy every night. However, good things do not last forever. Shion gets up to drink some water and sees the police commandos surrounding her. She yells for Hiro to run away, but the police catches up with him before he can escape, and they open fire in his room. Unfortunately, Hiro sees Shion and her grandma lying unconscious behind the commandos, and that drives him insane. After transforming his hand into a gun and killing the SWAT team, he flies away with the bodies of the 2 women. When he rests the bodies down in another area of the city, he realizes that they will always be in danger if he stays with them, therefore he flies away. Meanwhile, the whole city of Tokyo is talking about a meteor that is supposed to be crashing on Earth. At night, Ichiro meets with his young ally, and they talk about Mary. The old man says his daughter does not speak to him much, even though she used to love him dearly when she was a kid. Upon being asked how Mary is like at school, Ando replies she hangs out with the popular girls. After that short talk, Ichiro continues his training with Ando, who wants to make sure the old man is at the same level with Hiro. Ando has him use his metal capabilities of remote control to move his car. Although Ichiro is able to bring his car just in front of their feet, Ando says that Hiro can move more than 10 cars at the same time. The next morning, Mary sees Ando hanging out with her father and wonders what they are doing together. She follows them on the train and all kinds of possible scenarios cross her mind. She realizes her thoughts are just stupid and keeps following them. Soon, they enter a hospital and Mary witnesses Ichiro curing people. Then she follows them out of a hospital and into a secluded alley where she sees Ichiro flying in order to go and put out a fire. Later that night, Ichiro returns home only to find Mary fighting with her mother because she does not want to attend college but rather become a manga writer. Her mother is mostly worried about her making a living, but Ichiro believes that if Mary finishes high school without any issues, they will be able to support her in her decision. They are her parents after all. As for Hiro, he is now approaching the police station and he gets started on a killing spree. No matter what the police force does against him, he always recovers and kills everyone. Eventually, he is only left with the chief, who threatens him that the police will find a way to stop him sooner or later. Hiro shoots the man on his leg but lets him live to see who is right and who is wrong. Hiro claims he will destroy the whole country's police force. When he walks outside, more SWAT teams are waiting for him, and a sniper even shoots him on his head. That gives the SWAT commandos some time to approach him and open fire. Hiro gets up a couple of times and kills some of them, but the commandos have too much gunpowder. Hiro receives enough damage to fall on the ground unconscious, but then his body gets activated on its own and kills almost everybody. Right then, it starts raining and the water helps Hiro's system recover. He kills 2 remaining officers, but spares the chief again. Ichiro meets with Ando the next day, and they comment that Hiro has gotten out of control. He is becoming way too dangerous. That is an understatement. They don't know what is coming next. Hiro hijacks all kinds of broadcasts in Japan and declares war on the whole country. He says that he has always hated this country and he will not stop until all the people in it are dead, around 120 million human beings. People are left in a dreadful emotional state, but things escalate very fast. Hiro uses the access he has through the cameras and starts killing as many people as he can. People panic and try to hide because they believe Hiro is shooting at them from a roof of something. They have no idea that their best chance to survive would be to ditch their phones and stay away from any kind of camera. However, Ando figures it out and warns Ichiro about it. In turn, Ichiro hijacks the people's phones and Ando warns them to stay away from their smartphones. Despite that warning, ditching the smartphones is not enough to defend against Hiro, as he now hacks into the larger screens found around the city and starts shooting at people using his finger as an assault rifle. The only thing that makes him stop is his own mind. He has killed 100 people today, and that is the number he has established as his daily murdering quota. But the thing is, that was just a test drive for him. Tomorrow he will return and kill 1,000 people. After those terrible events, Hiro uses a street camera to communicate with Shan. She pleads him to stop killing people, but that is not a possibility for Hiro. He claims that Japanese people will always go after him and view him as an enemy. Now he views them as enemies as well. On the other hand, he still wants to live with Cheyenne and her grandma, so he asks her where she wants to go when he is finished with Japan. Cheyenne does not like what he is doing and she plainly walks away. Meanwhile, a woman enters a plane and sits next to a father who is holding his baby. The baby starts crying and the father can't make it stop. Then the woman plays a video to keep the baby occupied and stop it from crying. Although that specific plane is still safe, the use of phones proves to be lethal and a bunch of planes soon crash in the streets of Tokyo. The people watch in fear while more planes are brought down from the skies. Hiro flies in the sky in order to help the people, but he is too late. He is only able to see fires starting here and there in Tokyo. However, the chaos has not stopped yet, and Ando warns him that there are more waves of planes coming down. As it seems, Hiro will not stop anytime soon. Ichiro holds onto a plane and manages to land it safely. When the shot opens, it is apparent that it is not just one plane, but Ichiro has saved a lot of them. Then he receives a phone call from his daughter, who has been trapped on a large building. Some men are trying to break the windows, but they are unsuccessful. While he is on the phone with Mary, Hiro appears behind Ichiro and wonders what kind of being he is. Hiro shoots him once, but Ichiro is perfectly fine. The two of them get caught up in a conversation and they realize how different they are. Hiro feels alive when he kills people, while Ichiro feels alive when he saves people. Hiro attacks the old man and beats him up. Then he shoots at him continuously. Ichiro recovers from the attack and starts shooting him back. Then he starts flying away because he also wants to save his daughter. However, Hiro goes after him and will not allow him to go that easily. While the chase takes place on the highway, Hiro pulls a car and makes it fall on Ichiro. Thankfully, the old man is strong enough to hold the car and put it down. Ichiro now has more pressure onto him since Mary calls him and she is about to pass out due to the smoke from the fire that has started inside the building. Hiro attacks Ichiro with his laser beams and causes a massive explosion. Ichiro is fine, and this time he is the one to use his laser beams to attack Hiro. Hiro recovers and their fight still goes on. At some point, they both pass out and their bodies take over. Ichiro creates a distraction and manages to jump on Hiro's back. He breaks a part of his skull and then breaks both of his arms. The two of them end on the ground, but Ichiro recovers and flies away to find his daughter. When he arrives at the building, his daughter is unconscious. He puts his hands on her face in order to save her, but she is not waking up. Ichiro screams out of pain and remembers all the beautiful moments he has lived with his daughter. He tries once more to revive her, but she is not responding. When he gives up all hope, Mary takes one tiny breath. That is his opportunity to help her, and he does just that. Mary wakes up and is happier than ever to see her father. Ichiro carries her in his arms, and it is time for them to get out of there. Ichiro returns back to the building, and he gradually saves more people by rescuing them and reviving them. People see him at work, and some of them believe that he is God, who came down to Earth to help them. The next morning, Ichiro returns home to his family, and his wife asks him if it's really him doing those miracles. Ichiro reveals his real body to them and wonders if he is the real Ichiro or he is a machine that was built to look like him. To find out, his wife asks him where they went for their honeymoon and what they did there. Ichiro remembers everything perfectly, and that should mean that he is real. In the meantime, Hiro goes to Ando's house and they sit down to read some manga. Ando secretly calls Ichiro, but Hiro is not worried about that because he just came to see his friend. However, he flies away moments before Ichiro arrives. Hiro realizes how much people hate him, but most importantly, he knows he has lost Cheyenne forever. Thus, he disappears for a while. A few nights after, Ichiro walks home with his son, who says he wishes he was a cyborg too. On the other hand, Ichiro tells him everybody is unique and he should have appreciated his life more when he was a human. Ichiro spends some time with his family, but they soon receive more bad news. An asteroid is going to crash on Earth and destroy the whole planet. Ichiro has a conversation with Ando and says that he is going to try to stop the meteorite. Everybody knows that is very dangerous, but Ichiro wants to give it a try since he is the only one who can actually do something. Soon he is in space and lands on the asteroid. Ichiro tries to dig a hole in the center of the asteroid and then shoots his laser beams into it. However, there is not much damage caused on the comet. Surprisingly, Hiro appears on the asteroid in order to help him. He has some people he cares about, Cheyenne and Ando, and he does not want them to die. He's calculated that if he self-destructs on the asteroid, he can move it out of its trajectory. Hiro does what he is supposed to do, but it is still not enough. Ichiro lies to Ando and says he is returning home, but in reality he initiates his own self-destruction in order to get the job done and move the asteroid out of Earth's course, making the ultimate sacrifice and allowing the world to live on. Thank you for staying till the end. Like and share this video with other anime lovers. Subscribe so you won't miss any of our future videos.